A good friend of mine and I are really into cars, and he told me about the Highway to Sell show on the Discovery Channel, and we started watching it and thought what they did down here at Slick's Garage was pretty cool with customizing the cars and personalizing them. I decided to call Slick because I've got two 59 Cadillacs, and I really thought it would be neat to personalize one of them and make it a real bucket list car, something that I'd be super proud of owning, and give it custom paint, custom interior. Brought it down for him to take a look at it because he's, as I learned on the show, he's kind of the idea guy and comes up with the creative aspect. So he gave my girlfriend and I some great ideas, gave us an estimate on doing the work, and we signed off on it and gave him a deposit check. Well, shortly right after that, I decided to bring my second 59 Cadillac four-door down, which needed some mechanical and paint work. It needed floorboards. So we came back down 2 weeks later. When we came down, the first car that we brought just 2 weeks prior was already disassembled. All the interior was out of it. They were pulling the trim off of it. It really looked like work was coming along well, and it looked like we'd made a good decision of who we were going to work with. Unfortunately, from there, it just all went downhill. The first car was supposed to be done in June, and the second car was supposed to be done in summer. They asked for that additional time, saying that the television show might be renewed and they would need an extra 3 or 4 months. That was why they set those dates as far back as they did. We agreed to that, no problem. But when the first car wasn't ready in June, that's when I started getting a lot of bad feelings. Once I heard the excuses I was getting, he would text me and say that they weren't going to be, first he said they were going to be ready to paint in a week, and then they had to fire a guy for not coming in or being drunk or stealing. And from there, it was just excuse upon excuse. We visited them at their new location under a different name, Slick's Garage Miami, in August. He promised me the first car would be done in September. And then they got shut down by the state at the end of August. And then they said it would be painted 4 or 5 days after they reopened. They were reopened around the 2nd of September, and the car never got painted, and we're taking it out months later now, just after all these failed promises and excuses. Initially, I just filed a complaint with the Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services, but that really didn't seem to give us much of anything, certainly in resolution. He asked that I drop the complaint, and but then after that, I started asking for my cars back once I found out that the building was for sale, and the landlord changed the locks, and they had already had a car stolen out of here or on the property in September, and had tools stolen in September, and I just felt like my cars and my investment in them is in jeopardy. So we filed what's called a prejudgment writ of replevin, which allows the police to assist us in taking my property back.